Good morning. I'm Cecil Haycock, pastor of Walker's Chapel Church of the Brethren at Mount Jackson, Virginia. And this morning I have a message. I've titled it Joys Along Life's Journey. Now, have you ever heard the expression, well, take time to smell the roses? Almost everyone seems to be in a rush. They have a destination and they're headed towards that. And the quicker they can get there, the better they think it will be. Well, now, they have little concern about the joys, the views, and so on that are possible for them along the journey. In today's world, so many people are goal-oriented. When they go on a vacation, the destination is the all-important thing. And as a result, they miss so many of the blessings they could have had along the journey. They're in a hurry, and they say, next time. But there never is a next time. Now, we sing the hymn, When We All Get to Heaven. Did you realize we may miss many of the blessings here on earth because we're in too big a hurry to get there or to get something done? Now, for the younger generation, it may be a cell phone. They're doing texting, iPods, DVD players, and you name it. And even when they're on a vacation, they have little concerns about the blessings God has for them. Instead, they're wrapped up in a virtual world. Now, I think back to a trip my family took to annual conference when it was in Fresno, California. Now, it was not just a destination we were concerned about. It included a number of blessings on the journey. So, on the way there, we camped at Hot Springs, which is the oldest federal reserve in the United States, and over 1 million gallons of 140-degree water pours from 47 springs every day. The Indians came here and bathed in the water for healing, and it became a center for healing after 1900. Bathhouses were built, and 2 of them are still in operation. The water contains some radioactivity, and that's supposed to help healing. Now, Texas, of course, is a big state. If you ever try to cross over it, you'll know it. Well, and the western part is desert type, and there's not much to see except shrubs and mesquite bushes, and Birchie got really bored, said, I've never been so bored in all my life traveling through that, but I sort of enjoyed it because much of it repairs the kind of land you have in the place where Jesus was. But at El Paso, we took a side trip to Chihuahua, and we learned what a desert is like. And we were amazed to see the clarity of the air. You could see 20 miles, and it didn't seem like it was that far away. It was just close to you. But I could go on with a travelogue which included Saguaro Monument, Yosemite, Yellowstone, and you name it. Uh, However, one of the highlights came when we reached Provo, Utah. It was Bing cherry season, so we stopped at a place to pick cherries. And then Hope, Gilda, and I became monkeys. We climbed a tree and started picking cherries. Well, we picked a good many cherries, and we had enough to eat all the way home, and enough that Birchie even baked us a cherry pie. The girls have never forgotten that trip, and they want to take their families on it sometime. Well, now why am I telling you? Because so many times we're so eager to get to our destination, we miss some of the real blessings along the way. And then when we come to the end of life, we may look back with sorrow because we miss so many of God's wonders. Now, even in our daily walk, we may have tunnel vision. We see only what's ahead of us. We miss what's beside us. Now, I'm not suggesting that you become a rubberneck in driving, but that you do have peripheral vision and you can catch glimpses of different things as you travel. Sometimes you may go to a restaurant or store and almost walk over someone and not even see that they're one of your friends. You see, you don't take time to see the people, to see the roses, instead of just smelling them. As Christians, we need to be aware of other people, not only the natural world. Perhaps we could say this life is a rehearsal for eternity. And there's a hymn. It's called Getting Used to the Family of God. And these are the words. Climbing the mountains, crossing the plains, fording the rivers, sharing the pain, sometimes the losses and sometimes the gain, getting used to the family of God. Reaching our hands to a brother who's new, learning to say that I really love you. Learning to walk as a master would do, getting used to the family of God. Going together, enjoying the trip, getting used to the family I'll spend eternity with. Learning to love you, how easy it is, getting used to the family of God. But there's another thing that I would like to share, and it's by Michael Josephson, who has had a program that character counts. And this is one that he called The Parable of the Carpenter. There was a master carpenter who worked with the same builder for nearly 50 years, and he announced he was retiring. The builder told him how much he appreciated his work, and presented him with a $5,000 bonus. Then he asked if he would build just one more house. He owned a magnificent lot with a spectacular view and wanted to build a dream house there. The carpenter was bitterly disappointed at the small bonus, an extra project, but the building fee would help him buy a small cottage. So he agreed to build the dream house. He'd always prided himself on his uncompromising commitment to quality, but his resentment caused him to cut corners, ignore details, and accept shoddy workmanship from his workers. He even looked the other way when some of them substituted cheaper materials and pocketed the difference. When the house was finished, the builder took the carpenter's hand and with a huge smile gave him a thank you card. The carpenter was disdainful until he saw inside the card the deed to the house he had just built. The carpenter was ashamed to have misjudged his old friend, and he had betrayed his own values. And he was remorseful that the house he would now live in for the rest of his life had been made carelessly. And you know, our character is the house we live in. And it's built piece by piece and by daily choices. Deceit, irresponsibility, and disrespect are like shoddy workmanship. Whenever we put in less than our best and ignore our potential for our excellence, we create a future full of creaky floors, leaky roofs, and crumbly foundations. But, you know, we're building our own mansion in heaven. And are we doing our best? If we're not, if we try to take a shortcut, we're going to lose out. Instead of a mansion, we may end up with a shanty. May the Lord guide you and help you to trust and do your best every day. You're never going to regret it. Amen.